What up guys, Price is back with a brand new video. Today we are here with another month of my monthly purchases, another figure video. Hope you guys have been enjoying them. Today I'm going to be showing off what I got for the month of October. Pretty interesting month, went to 2 different toy shows, didn't go too crazy. I'll put up some pictures of like my gets and just pictures I took around the events and stuff. I met a cool guy doing a cosplayer as a White Ranger, and there was like a big stuffed Eevee. There was a lot of cool stuff, a lot of people selling some cool collections. There was one of the first event I went to, there was people that were creating their own lightsaber, and that was just a really cool thing to witness. And they also had like a Darth Vader just walking around with a lightsaber. I didn't get to take a picture with him, but he was there. He was actually at the other show as well, because you see a lot of these same people, vendors at these events, kind of selling stuff. So didn't go too crazy. I felt like September I went like absolutely nuts, like, you know, between all the Marvel Legends that I bought, the Power Rangers, the Megazord. If you missed that video, go check it out. So this month, still a big haul, per se, but you know, I felt like I was more reserved, especially, you know, like I said, I wanted to kind of prep myself for November. Probably gonna be some good Black Friday sales, so gonna wait for that, and you know, keep the wallets kind of heavy going in, you know. And there's another toy show I'm gonna be going to in mid-November. We'll talk more about that later, but let's show some figures. That's what we're here for, to show some figures. So before we get into that, I'm going to play a quick video, just in case you guys are new, this is your first time watching, just a little video I made beforehand, just kind of let you know what I'm collecting and what I'm looking for on a monthly basis. So let's cue that up real quick, and then let's talk some figures. Before I show off what I got for the month, I'm going to quickly go through what I'm collecting and what you can expect in this series. And it breaks down to 7 different collections. First one, we got Marvel Legends. For this, I mainly collect Spider-Man and X-Men, mainly anything that comes in those lines. I've broken down and basically started collecting one of each character. I don't collect everybody per se. There are characters where I will shy away from. Characters who I'm very not familiar with, I will stay away from. Unless they're on clearance and they're a good deal, I might snag them up. But I tend to just stick with characters that I'm familiar with or I know somewhat. And with the Marvel Legends, I don't collect any MCU figures. I mainly just do comic, video game, or animated show design characters. Next, I collect McFarlane's DC Multiverse. For this, I mainly just do Batman, his allies, his villains, just kind of get one of each. I am starting to build out some other collections like Flash and Green Lantern. Now I'm kind of looking to collect one of each major character. Major villains, major heroes, kind of do like a Legion of Doom and a Justice League kind of setup. For this as well, no movie figures, strictly video game or comic-inspired designs. Next, I collect Transformers. For my Transformers collection, I only collect Beast Wars figures, or animal characters, whatever you'd like to say. With this, I started collecting with the Kingdom line, and that has transitioned to the Transformers Legacy line, so that's what I'm collecting now. I also collect the Retro Beast Wars figures, and for this, I'm just kind of looking to collect a one of each, Predacons, Maximals, stuff like that. Next, I collect Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. With this one, it's a little weird. I like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I respect them more than I like them. I grew up somewhat with them, but I'm not crazy about them. But I like them enough to where I want some representation of them in my collection. So that's why I've decided to collect the Loyal Subjects Best Action line. For this, I just really want the Turtles and Shredder. They are creating other characters, but for me, I want to collect all 4 Turtles and Shredder. And once I have that, I'll start to collect some of the other figures. But if they decide to end the line eventually, I'll be happy with having the Turtles and having Shredder. Next, I collect video game characters. For this, I mainly collect characters from video games that kind of mean something to me, my favorite games. I also collect some figures of characters from other games, kind of, you know, bigger games, Sonic, Mario, stuff like that. But I tend to just pick characters from games that I really care about. Next, I collect Power Rangers. For this, I collect Hasbro's Power Rangers Lightning Collection. With this, I'm looking to collect one of each ranger, each villain, just one of each. There's also a couple different items in the Lightning collection. They're starting to do the Zords, and they do some roleplay items. For me, I do plan on collecting the Zord Ascension Project as they release more of that. In terms of roleplay items, not for me. For me, I'm just about the figures. And then last but not least, I collect wrestling figures. For this, I collect mainly WWE Elite Style or AEW Unrivaled Unmatched. I collect both those lines. I'm just looking to collect one of each wrestler. And fun fact about this collection in particular, it is the only collection of mine that I take out of box for whatever reason. Everything else stays in the box, and I display it as such. So now that you know what I collect, let's see what additions are going to be coming to my collection this month. Alright, so let's get into some figures. So like last episode, we're going to show off the figures. I'm going to go and show some of the pre-orders of stuff that I pre-ordered during the month, and we'll kind of talk some figure news at the end. So buckle in. Got some good stuff to talk about this month, but let's show some figures. So we're going to start out with... this doesn't really fit in any category. This is just some stuff that I bought. So when I went with my uncle, he likes to come on these things and see all these toys from his childhood. And it's just kind of a fun day to get to hang out. You know, the boys hanging out, don't really get to see them as much. So, you know, we have breakfast, and then we go to the toy show and make a lot of bad decisions. So during that time, so what he bought at the toy show was he bought these Hot Wheel cars. I didn't take a picture of them, but 3 little Hot Wheels cars. The guy was selling them 3 for $5. And, you know, he was just telling me, like, what they meant to him. Because obviously if he's going to buy something, it's going to be something special to him. And on the car ride home, we were talking about... you know, some toys that, like, just from his past and stuff. And one thing, like, he was talking about that he really wanted to see and maybe even purchase if they had it was this old Superman vehicle. It's called the Supermobile. And I did some research after we talked about it, and I ended up finding it. And I actually bought it for him, so I'm going to show that off right now. Here it is, the Supermobile. This is actually a re-release. This is not the original figure. This is a re-release by McFarlane Toys. And yeah, this is the little vehicle that he was talking about that he had as a kid. And I'm like, you know what? I saw it online for a pretty good price. And I was like, you know what? I think this would be a cool Christmas gift for him. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give this to him for Christmas and see his reaction. So I'm just showing off all the sides. And then on the back, Supermobile. And, you know, figure comes separately because the figures never come with the toys. So I ended up getting the Superman as well. Found this one at a Walmart. I like the retro look. It's a little stiff, not too many points of articulation. And another thing I don't really like about this figure, I don't know why they have the cape so far down his shoulder blades. Like, if you look at the picture, cape should be around his neck. But for some reason, they put the cape way lower. There's probably a reason for it. I'm not sure why. But yeah, so I got the vehicle and the Superman to go with it. And it's a wave of 3, Batman, Darkseid, Superman, and there's another vehicle as well. You can get a Batwing. So this is, it's going to make a nice little Christmas gift for him. Well, can't really see them together. Yeah, so this uncle I really love a lot. He's like a father figure to me. So whenever I see, like, he likes Simpsons, he likes Superman. Those are really his 2 things that he likes a lot. So whenever I see something pretty cool for both of those brands, I'll buy it for him as a gift. So these are just, this isn't part of my collection. This is just a Christmas gift for him when that time comes. Another thing I got, you know, every year for Christmas, we do a Secret Santa as a family. And, you know, this year I'm like, you know what? I want to buy some fucking trolley gift for somebody. Something that somebody thinks is going to be really cool, but it's going to be like fucking a turd. And there's this website. It's a Canadian toy store. They have a shop in Toronto, and they were having like this blowout clearance event. So I ended up picking a couple figures, which we'll show here later. And one of the things I saw on this website where I'm like, yo, I have to buy this. You might hear the... I don't know if you can hear that sand or what? I think it's sand. I think it's actually seeds. But this is a thing that like I always wanted as a kid because it just looks so fucking dumb, and I just remember the fucking commercials. Chia.
There's a new pet.
Chia.
Chia Pet, the pottery that grows. It's fun and easy. Soak your chia, spread the seeds, keep it watered, and watch it grow. Chia Pets and Trees, the pottery that grows.
The Chia Pet and Chia Tree are available at Kmart, Rite Aid, Ames, and Woolworth. Makes a great gift.
A Chia Pet from the Karate Kid. This is Mr. Miyagi. This is what I'm going to be submitting as a secret Santa gift. And someone from my family will own this and hopefully plant it and get this fucking Mr. Miyagi with a goddamn leaf row. So yeah, I always wanted a fucking Chia Pet, even though it looks so stupid. But the commercials always made it seem so much fun. Like, look, Chia, like it's just even fun to say. So this is where's the picture of? Okay, so this is what they get in the box. They get this little pottery statue of him, and then they soak it in water, add the chia seeds, water it, take care of it like it's a plant, and then you end up getting this. So I'm interested to see. Hopefully they follow through and actually like do this and take care of it so we can be a fun little family thing. So yeah, those are just some gifts. So let's get on to the good stuff, the stuff for me. For this month I will not be adding anything for my Beast Wars collection. There were just no Beast Wars figures, although I did see at the toy show some vintage Beast Wars figures. And I was thinking about buying it because I'm like, I don't know if, Hasbro really is more into like the vehicle stuff. Like whenever they do announcements, there's not really anything Beast Wars, animal figures. So I was thinking about potentially buying some of the old-fashioned Beast Wars figures, like the original, I think it's 1997. We'll see. I had an opportunity to at the toy show. I didn't end up doing it though because I'm like, sometimes Hasbro does the re-releases of the vintage Beast Wars carded figures. So I'm like, what if I buy this old one and then they end up releasing it again? So I'm like, But I don't think there's any on the horizon. So I think if I have an opportunity to buy some retro Beast Wars figures, I'm going to be doing that. So we'll see if I can stumble across some. If I get an opportunity at the upcoming toy show in November, I am going to take that opportunity to buy some, if they have some. I saw a couple people selling it, but they were like at a card. For me, I'm a mint on card guy, unless it's wrestling figures. So let's what should we start with? God, I'm just looking around me. Let's start out with video game figures. Got some cool ones. So last month I bought a Minecraft figure. I think it was a Creeper. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to buy any more Minecraft figures. If I do, it's probably going to be the skeleton or, sorry, just adjusting my camera. It's either going to be probably like the skeleton or Enderman, like a villain. But I was walking in Walmart and I saw this and I was like, this is just too adorable and cute. I have to buy this. And what it is a Minecraft figure. It is a baby zombie and a chicken. And it's kind of like a 2-in-1, even though they're like the smaller figures. And I was like, oh my god, that's so adorable. I think the fact I do get two figures in one package... Oh, there's like a black scuff there. The two figures in one package kind of was like the selling point for me. Because, I was like, I was debating. I'm like, probably no more Minecraft figures unless it's the villain. But I just saw these guys. You can even have the little zombie boy riding the chicken. Like, that. I want to buy the Enderman. I don't know if I'm going to. I think I still plan on buying it. But, I just thought this was fucking adorable. You get a little chicken and a zombie baby. And, or zombie chicken jockey. That's the official title for this. But I just thought it was so cute. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy it for my collection. And I just think that was really cool. Next, we're adding a new franchise. This is a franchise I hold near and dear to my heart, and I don't have any representation of them as of yet, but now I officially do, and that game that I'm talking about is Borderlands. Borderlands is a game that I played the shit out of. I played the first one, played all the DLC, played the second one, played all the DLC, played the pre-sequel, played that DLC, played the third one. Unfortunately, didn't get to play the DLC for that, but it's all up on my former team channel. I had a channel where me and a bunch of friends did co-op playthroughs, and we played a lot of Borderlands. So Borderlands holds a special place in my heart. I got a lot of good memories of it, and I wanted to have representation for it. When I went to the toy show, I saw this guy selling this figure for $10, and I was like, dude, I'm going to take that from you. And that is a Lilith from Borderlands, and it is made by, where's the company name? McFarlane. My God, McFarlane coming through again with a pretty sick figure. So yeah, this is Lilith. She's a character throughout the series, but she's a playable character in the first game. She's one of the 4 Vault Hunters. Not my favorite character. And I did do some research. There are not too many Borderlands figures. There's only like a handful. There's a Claptrap I want. There's a Handsome Jack I want. There's 2 Tiny Tinas. There's like one from when she's in Borderlands 3, which I didn't really care too much for that portrayal of her. I liked her more in Borderlands 2 when she's just like this psycho kid. So I want to get that version of her. But, you know, Lilith, not my favorite character. Not even my favorite character from the first game. I would probably say, like, Roland. That's pretty cool. Actually, everyone but Lilith. She grows on me later in the series. But in Borderlands 1, she is kind of dull. So this figure is from 2019. So yeah, I don't know if they're going to be making any more of these, but for $10, this was a fucking steal. And then earlier, you know, I talked about that store that was doing a clearance event, and another figure that they had on clearance, which I'm like, fuck yeah, another Borderlands figure. Let me add that to my collection. So another Borderlands character, Borderlands 2 character to be specific, we got Craig. I think it's Craig. This is a character I'm not too familiar with. He's a Borderlands 2 character, but he was DLC. He's not one of the original 4 Vault Hunters. And I gotta say, I really like the packaging on this compared to the one Lilith came in with. The one with Lilith, it's so plain. There's not even like a backing for the figure. Like, you look here, there's like a little background for Krieg here. You know, a little something, but like with Lilith, they're just like, yeah, we're just going to make it cardboard. Who gives a fuck? I don't think it's been opened. So the tape is here. Tape is here. Looks sealed. Doesn't look touched. More tape here. Tape on the bottom doesn't look tampered with. So yeah, I don't think it was taken out. I just think that's the way the figure was. So it's just like a very boring figure. A lot of space in the box. They didn't really use anything. With the Krieg figure, like, I like the packaging. Like, it's nice, it's compact. You get a nice figure. Obviously, from Borderlands, you also get 3 golden keys if you're still playing that game, which will get you stuff from that community chest. It's been a while since I've played some Borderlands. But yeah, this is a really cool figure. I like the details on him. He looks very badass. And he is basically like a psycho, which is one of the villains in the game. So this figure is from 2018, so kind of a downgrade. This from 2018, this from 2019. You'd think the packaging will get better, stay the same, but that did not happen. So here he is. So again, 3 golden keys. There's the top. And there's a nice shot of him on the back. Unlike Lilith, who came with a gun, there's her little submachine gun, our boy Krieg here, Krieg? Fuck, I don't know how to pronounce his name, whatever. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say his name out loud, so I'm not 100% sure how to say it, but he is a melee-based character. That's his weapon. It's a little saw blade, and he uses it like an axe. So yeah, this is a pretty cool. I really like this. I'm glad I finally get some Borderlands representation in my collection. Like I said, Borderlands means a lot to me, and I'm glad to finally have some figures. It's unfortunate they didn't make the other characters. There's no Zero, and there might be a Zero actually. There's no Mordecai, no Roland, no Brick, no Salvador, Axton. What's Maya? That's a Siren from the second game. It's unfortunate, but you know what? I'll take what I can get. And these two are really cool and are going to make a nice addition to my video game collection, along with the chicken and baby zombie. Next, we are going to move on to the TMNT. And of course, I collect the best action line. And we're adding 2 to that. And the first one is going to be a foot soldier. And this is a really cool guy. Comes with a lot of accessories, a gun, some ninja stars. He looks cool. Comes with some swords, a spear, a bunch of different hands. And I really like the packaging on this. I'll just set him there. Nice looking packaging. Obviously that's a reference from the cartoon. Nice little action shot of our buddy here. And of course this is from the best action line. 31 points of articulation. There's all the accessories. Really cool. Nothing on this side of the box. Nothing really on the bottom, but I show it off anyways. And the top. So, this is cool. I like this. It's, you know, it is one of those characters that kind of like, you know, you got to get more than one. But for me, I'm happy with just one foot soldier. Having one foot soldier, having a foot soldier representation in my Ninja Turtle collection, very integral. And you know what? We got to get someone to beat up the foot soldiers, so that's why I am adding another turtle. We are adding Leonardo, which means I am only now missing Donatello. And I'm happy to say Donatello will be joining his brothers in November, so look forward to that. But yeah, here's Leonardo. Comes with a lot of, you know, his dual katanas, little pouch for them. Comes with a sewer can, or sewer lid. Sewer can, what the fuck? 2 heads, kind of a grunting face, and then a neutral face. Got some hands there. Nice action shot of the turtles, obviously color coordinated to blue for Leonardo. Nice little pose of our boy here. Nothing on this side. Show off the back. And then the top. So, I really like how these are coming out. Like, I'm not a fan of the turtles because I didn't grab one to compare, but they basically all just look the same. But they're color coordinated, obviously. And they come with their own weapons. But in terms of, like, shades of green, they're all pretty much the same. So that's unfortunate, but I do think they're cool figures. You know, they're not too expensive like the NECA ones, and they do seem a little cheap, but not cheap, you know. I don't mind displaying these. I think they look cool. So, yeah, Leonardo and the Foot Soldier will be joining my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collection. Like I said, we'll be getting Donatello next month, so look forward to that. But, yeah, not too much to say about Leo and the Foot Soldier. Just some nice additions. Next, we're going to move on to Power Rangers. I'm going to be honest, I didn't think we were going to get any additions to the Power Rangers this month. The figures that I did get this month, I thought were going to be released in November. So I'm like, oh, we're not going to have anything for October. But then I got an email saying, no, you're getting these sooner than expected. So I'm like, fuck yeah. Hell yeah, and especially I get to complete this team, and the team I am talking about is the Ninjetti figures. So I already had Tommy, Kimberly, Adam, and Billy, and then they released Aisha and Rocky a little bit later. So we're going to be showing off Aisha first, and then we're going to be showing off the whole team. I have them all beside me. So yeah, here's Aisha in her Ninjetti costume. They just call it Ninja Yellow Ranger. But yeah, here she is. The costume looks really good in yellow. Nice little face sculpt of Aisha. I think it looks like her. This definitely looks like her. I like that version as well. This head I'm not too crazy about, but that's just the way it was. But if I were to display it like out of the box, I would definitely put one of these heads instead. And not too many accessories. You get a effect piece and 2 hands, 2 karate chop hands. And there she is. Little side shot. This is how I have my Rangers posed. I'll show that after. Nice little action shot on the back. Yellow on top, so you know it's the Yellow Ranger. And the bottom here. So yeah, I think this figure turned out very well. The head sculpts can be hit or miss. We're going to talk about that a little bit with Rocky. Because not too... Oh, why is it going out of focus? Not too crazy about his head sculpt, but I think Aisha turned out pretty well. So, yeah, and then we got the bear on her chest. That is her Zord in this mode. They got new powers. This team holds a special place in my heart, to be honest, because this is from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, which I absolutely love. If I watched it today, I probably wouldn't feel that way, but as a kid, that was one of my favorite movies, and this was in the show, this was in the show and the movie as well, but it played a more prominent role in the movie, where they got to fight Ivan Ooze. So I am happy to finally complete this collection. So let's show off Rocky real quick. Here we go, our Red Ranger in final edition. Originally they released Tommy, Billy, Kimberly, and Adam, and that was as a wave. And then Aisha and Rocky got announced later, and they also got packaged with a cat figure. Not an actual like kitty cat, but the cat who eventually takes over Kimberly for the Pink Ranger. She gets a release like this as well. And for the box, instead of like her face covered up, it would be very similar to Kimberly, who I'll just show off real quick, where it was like this. So instead her head is exposed and you can see the cat head on the ninja body. But anyways, let's talk about Rocky here. Rocky has a history, actually I should have fucking got Blue Zeo, has a history of not having good face sculpts. This will be his 3rd figure. The other 2 are Zeo Blue, which I have, but I forgot on my shelf, and Metallic Red. So they had 2 chances to do the head sculpt. Blue Zeo was absolute abomination, doesn't look anything like him. This, I think, looks a little closer. I can actually see a Rocky resemblance, especially this head right here. So it actually turned out better than I expected. And the suit as a whole, I think it looks good in red. I just like these suits in general. I think they look really cool. And he does not get karate chop hands. He kind of gets like... They're like... I don't even know how you describe them. It's like this. Like that. I don't know what kind of fucking movement that is. If that's like a secret, touch in the neck and you fucking kill somebody. I have no idea. But he also comes with an effect piece as well. There we got the side shot. We got the ape. It's an ape on the chest. There is Rocky on the back. The other shots. The back. And the top. My only complaint with this figure, and I know it's going to sound so fucking stupid, but I'm going to pull out Mighty Morphin Red. I don't know why they changed the color on the box. I would have liked a more lighter red on this, like the suit is, but for some reason they gave it a dark red. I know it's such a stupid fucking complaint, and I don't even want to complain about it, but like I wish it had that brighter shade of red. But here they are together. Obviously 2 different Rangers. We got Jason and Rocky. But originally I was thinking about how to display them, and I was going to do like the Ranger and then the Ninja, and then I would do like the others following. I don't have the blue one, but here would be blue, and I'd put like the Morphin version of him. I decided against that, so I just have the team. I'll show them off real quick. Let me just gather them. So here is how I have them gathered on my shelf, from Red to Tommy, And I think they look cool. I'm going to miss these box arts. Like, these are one of the last times we're going to have this box. Starting the next wave of figures, I think it's 12. We're going to get this style. But after that, then they're going to plastic-free packaging. And they're completely changing the art style in the box. So I'm going to miss these a lot. And it's going to be a hard transition, especially for, like, teams where I already have, like let's say, hypothetically, I have these 3. And then to complete the team, they're going to be in a different box with different box art. It's going to suck, but, it's a price I got to bear to save the world, plastic. But, yeah, here is the team complete. I don't know if I'll be able to get them all in the shots. Actually, this kind of looks cool. But, yeah, here we got Tommy, the White Ranger. Actually, I was pretty afraid with the Red and the Yellow Ranger, because originally when these 4 came out, there was a lot of issues with the figures. Like, I saw a lot of people posting about it online, but basically, like, heads would be missing, or you'd have, like, 2 of that head in here, like that, but twice here. Like, the paint was all fucked up. Like, it was just a shit show with these original 4. So I was kind of concerned about these 2, but I'm happy to report I don't think there was any issues, at least reported online that I saw, of any quality control issues. So that's good to see. But yeah, here is the team. I can't really display them all. It was best displayed the way I had it, but I kind of wanted to spread them all out. But yeah, completing the Ninjetti team. Now all we need is an Ivan Ooze figure. Come on, Hasbro. Give me Ivan Ooze. The people want it. I don't care how much they shit on Ivan Ooze. They want an Ivan Ooze figure. I definitely do. And I actually can't wait if they do a Zord Ascension project for these Zords. Get the ape, you got the wolf, frog, bear, crane, falcon. I believe I got all those correct. Yeah, it's cool to complete a team, and I look forward to next month, which I got a shipping notification as well, that in November I'm going to be getting the first wave of Street Fighter Power Ranger crossover figures, the Chun-Li and the Ryu. Can't wait to get them in hand. And that's just something we're going to have to look forward to for November. November already shaping up to be a pretty good month. We're going to complete our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle team. We're going to get Donatello. We're going to get the first Street Fighter wave crossover with Power Rangers. And I'm going to another toy show, so that could just be a disaster in itself for me. So, yeah, happy to have this completed team. And as far as, like, the cat version of this, I'm not going to pick it up. I'm happy with the Kimberly version. Actually, one thing I did want to mention is, since I got the 6 of these, something I always wanted to see was this, but in green. That's something that I always thought about as a kid, where it's like, would the movie have been different if Tommy was the Green Ranger instead of the White Ranger? Like, how cool would the suit have been in green? That's actually something I'm pretty interested. Hopefully they do that in the comics, and then eventually we get a figure for it. I really like what they're doing in the comics, and I can see them doing it there, where, if you're not reading the comics, they have the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers team is obviously these 6, and they also have the Green Ranger as well, so it's a 7-man team, and it's a completely new character, but he's still the Green Ranger, has the Green Ranger powers, and since they're kind of following the show, where, if you read the comics, it's the original 5, and then Tommy comes in with the Green Ranger, and then, eventually these guys come in. I was going to say they get replaced, but they come in. We get Rocky, Adam, and Aisha replacing Jason, Zach, and Trini. They are following that in the comics, so eventually they're going to be getting their Ninjetti suits, and hopefully we get a green one. And then hopefully Hasbro makes a figure for that. I'm honestly surprised they haven't made figures of the Omega Rangers yet. I don't know what they're taking so long for. Like, we got Draken pretty quickly, and the Ranger Slayer and Psycho Green. And then it just kind of seemed like they put a stop on the... Oh, no, actually, no, we got the turtle figures as well. Those are from the comics. But yeah, the Omega Rangers, I really want figures of those. And hopefully in the comics, if they do a green version in the Nageti, hopefully they make a figure for that as well. They already have the body mold. Like, it's basically the same body, just different colors. Like, there's nothing changed besides the color. The only thing that's changed is the fucking head sculpts here and the emblem on the chest. So I think it'd be a pretty easy figure to pump out. So hopefully they do that in the comics, and then, like I said, we get a figure version of it. Because I personally, and there's probably people out there, would really like a green version of these. Anyways, I've rambled enough about Power Rangers. Let's move on to the next thing. All right, next we're going to be moving on to Marvel Legends. Now, usually Marvel Legends has been the main event, but I didn't get too many Marvel Legends this month, and I actually got some weird ones. It's a weird series of figures that I'm adding to my collection, so I don't even know what to start with. Let's show off a pretty new figure to the Marvel Legends collection, and that figure I am talking about is Firelord. I'm going to be honest, I don't know too much about Firelord. We can read his little description here. Galactus transforms Xandarian Naval Officer Prius Creel into his newest herald, the unwavering Firelord. So he is a herald for Galactus. Pretty cool. I'm going to be honest, the reason I got him is because I have all the other vintage cards, or retro cards. This is a retro card. Vintage card, something else. I have all the other retro carded Fantastic Four figures. So I'm like, I kind of got to get this to kind of complete the collection. But you know what? I'm happy with how the figure turned out. It does look kind of plain, but he makes up for it with the fire effects. The fire on the hair looks fucking wicked. I'm trying to show it off without the glare, but you can see the red turning into the orange. I think that looks just really sick. Even the fire on the weapon here. We can't see the bottom one, but there's fire here, and then there's fire on the bottom. Oh, we can see it here. So you get a double little fire stick. You can kind of see it in action here. You got fire there and fire there. Yeah, so the design itself, I mean, it's very accurate, but it does look kind of plain. But yeah, just had to add this one to my Fantastic Four collection because I have all the other retro carded figures. I got the team, the Fantastic Four, all four of them. Got Psycho Man, got Doom, got High Evolutionary, and now I have Firelord to complete that. Unfortunately, I do not have the I do not have the HasLabs Galactus. Did not get a chance to back that because that happened before I was really getting into Marvel Legends. But he would make a cool addition to, obviously, because he's a Herald of Galactus, would have made a cool addition to that. But unfortunately, no Galactus for me. Maybe in the future, but I was at the toy show and I saw somebody selling a Sentinel, the HasLab one, and they were wanting $850. Now, I'm not saying it's not worth it, but that's a lot of coin to drop on one figure. That would basically be my only thing for the month if I were to get that. Yeah, the $850 is just too much for me. So maybe one day, but yeah, here is Firelord. So these next two additions on the list from my Marvel Legends collection, honestly, I didn't even mean to do it. It just happened. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it just fucking happened. So one of these that I'm about to show, the same site I got the Borderlands figure and the Chia Pet. They were having a clearance section, like I said, and they had one Marvel Legends on clearance for a pretty good deal, so I picked them up, and that is Age of Apocalypse Morph. I think I've made the decision that I am going to collect the Age of Apocalypse figures only if I get them for like a really, really sweet deal. This one was $15, which is pretty sweet. Regular price is $30, so it's like 50% off. Can't say no to that. And there he is, his goofy little face. You don't really tell that from the figure, But honestly, this is not the morph I'm used to. The morph I'm used to is from the animated series, where he's in that like yellow and blue costume, and you know, he's a good guy, and then he goes evil. Not too familiar with the Age of Apocalypse one, but yeah, I think I'm going to collect the Age of Apocalypse waves. I already have some of them. Like I got Weapon X, I got Wild Child. Need to get everyone else on the wave. But, and the other wave as well. But, yeah, Morph, he looks alright. Like, nothing really to ride home about. Like I said, this is not the Morph that I know. The Morph that I do know, and like I said, I did not mean to do this. This just kind of happened. So I got this other figure first. The VHS Morph Classic. Yeah, so I got this early in October. And then I was like, oh shit, cool, you know, I got Morph. This is, you know, the version I'm familiar with. And then I saw this on the website on clearance, and I'm like, oh, you know, I guess I'll pick up the Age of Apocalypse stuff. And then after it came, I didn't realize, I'm like, wait a second. I just became like the biggest Morph fan in the world. I own his fucking 2 Marvel Legends figures in the span of a month. I bought both of them. It was a complete accident. I'm not a Morph super fan. I appreciated him in the show, but yeah, I've just become the biggest Morph fan in the world. I can't explain it. It's a weird one. So yeah, here we have Morph in the VHS box. Previously, I have owned the Jean Grey in the VHS box. And I do like this packaging. I like the retro look to it. And of course, Hasbro announced that they're going to be stopping the X-Men VHS, and they're going to start doing Spider-Man VHS, which the 2 that have come out so far, we'll talk about that later, don't look the greatest, but you know, it is what it is. Hopefully they take that opportunity to do some characters that we haven't seen yet. My hope, Chameleon, fingers crossed. I would like a Chameleon in that old animated style. But anyways, here we got Morph, and just like Jean Grey, we're going to open this bad boy because I want to see if it's perfect. Because, you know, with these plastic-free packaging figures, I don't know if I'm getting that. I might get something fucked up in the box. Now, I have not tampered with this, so if it is fucked up, I have not touched it. I know the tape's a little funky there. That's the way it came. I've not touched the tape. As you can see, it's there intact. So I have not, if it is fucked up, I have not pre-tampered with it. So I actually did not bring a blade with me. So give me 1 second while I go get one. Okay, so it's not a knife. It's actually a envelope opener, even though it kind of looks like a pocket knife. I remember when I first found this, I'm like, oh my god, it's a pocket knife. Look at that. But it's just for opening envelopes. So, let's cut the plastic. Like I said before, I'm a mint in box collector. But with these plastic-free packagings, it's just, I feel like it's a gamble now. You know, I don't even know if the figure's in the box. Hopefully, I didn't really damage it. Let's pull it out, and let's hope for the best. So, nothing in the box, empty. So here we have the weird plastic prison. Oh, some instructions just fell out in case you don't know what to do. Oh shit, what the fuck is this? I think it comes, yeah, it does come with an extra head. I thought it did. I was not too sure. That's what I was looking for. So we got an extra set of hands. Kind of, Danhausen curse you hands. Oh, this should be here. But, this kind of like a handshake. Like, hey, nice to meet you. And then we got the head. That is his evil face. Everything looks good. Paint looks good. Nothing too bad. Nothing bad to report on. which is good. I don't want to take him out of this because I don't know if I'd be able to put it back, to be honest. But everything does seem to look good. You got the cell shading look that you can kind of see. Trying to see if I can... I don't know how to open this and put it back. That's my only concern. Actually, it doesn't look too hard. Here we go. I have not done this before. I didn't do this with my Jean Grey. I just kind of left it the way it is. So let's hope the figure is good. And yeah, he looks pretty good. God, it's been a while since I've held a Marvel Legends in hands. Jesus. But yeah, the face looks good. No lack of paint. I am disappointed that it does come with the jacket. I mean, I already knew that beforehand buying the figure, as you can see in the box. But I just wish he came with this costume instead. Like, they did an old version of this way back in the day. I'm not sure who produced it, but I'll put a picture of it where it's a morph figure, and he comes in this costume, and he also comes with, I believe, a Cyclops head and a Wolverine head, and I think his evil head as well, which we can kind of compare. Yeah, I think it looks good. Articulation's fine. Mainly just checking for paint. Paint seems good. Yeah, I'm happy to say no issues, it looks like. Everything looks good. Alright, cool. Happy to report. I'm going to pack this guy up after. And I want to do a... Actually, hold on. Let me put the head and hands away so I don't lose those. Okay, so there was Morph, and we will be doing another unboxing because I do have another figure here, actually figures of plastic-free packaging, and I'm really hoping that this one has no issues because I'm really looking forward to it. Before we get into that, though, let's go through one more figure, and that is I am adding another villain to my Spider-Man collection, and that is the Sandman. This is a character I had a couple opportunities to buy in the past, and I held out because I didn't know if I wanted this version of Sandman, but the more I did research on it, there wasn't too many Sandman figures. There was one, but it was like a Build-A-Figure, but I want to keep stuff in box. So I'm like, you know what? I don't really have too many options. Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to buy this figure. So I like that he's on the retro card. Love these retro cards. And I think he looks really cool. I like all the accessories. That little, I've seen some people pose him with, he's Spider-Man's punching him, and the hand is on the other side of the head. That's a cool shot. And then he comes with some sand accessories. You can see the little spike ball. And then he comes with a big sand fist. And then these are to, you put it on the weapon. But yeah, really happy about this. I think it turned out very well. I do like how this turned out. And I'm happy to have another, big, classic Spidey villain to my collection. So this is really cool. Especially last month where we had Rhino and Lizard. This is a very cool addition. And then, speaking of Spider-Man, that is going to be our last Marvel Legends figure for this month. This is a figure I've been holding out for a while. Spider-Man is a character I love and care about. And there are a lot of Spider-Man figures out there. And I've been waiting for the perfect one. And luckily, I had an opportunity to get one. Now, there's a lot of Spider-Man figures out there, like I said. And if you want a classic Spider-Man look where he's in his red and blue, you got to pay a top dollar. Finding one of those is just so hard to find. But luckily, Hasbro has recently released one in a 2-pack. And I am talking about the Spider-Man Spinneret 2-pack, The Amazing Spider-Man, Renew Your Vows. I really like this Spider-Man. One thing I really like about this Spider-Man is you get a Peter head. That's one thing I really like as well. That's one of the reasons I ended up saving myself for this one. because I love that classic look and I love that Peter head. So let's take a look at the box. Again, package plastic free. So we are going to be opening it and making sure everything is good inside. So we got Spinneret, which is Mary Jane. Not too familiar with this story of how she gets her powers or whatnot. But here we go. There's two on the side, and then on the other side, we have a more like comic style version of them, which is cool. If I have it displayed, I'll either have it displayed like this or like this. So yeah, very excited to open this bad boy up. This is part of the 60th anniversary. Nice little Spider-Man face there. And then again on the back, you got a bunch of hands for Spidey, a Peter head, and you get a Mary Jane head and a bunch of hands for Spinneret. So without further ado, again, I did not tamper with the tape. So if something is fucked up in the box, that's the way it came. I am hoping for the best because, like I said, I don't have a Spider-Man. I do have Spider-Man in my collection. Like, I got Miles Morales. I got Spider-Man 2099. I got, so I got the Armored Spidey, the MK whatever. One thing I don't like that I'm doing, I'm, like, immediately devaluing the price on these. Like, if I ever wanted to sell these, what am I going to tell the guy? Hey, I opened it up because they'd probably understand, but for me personally, like, even if that person did that, I wouldn't want to buy this. I would want to buy a fully sealed one that's never been opened. So I'm going to devalue my figures live on camera just for the sake of confirming that everything is good. Try not to destroy the box too, because I want to make it as seamless as possible. So, come on, work with me. There we go. There we go. Moment of truth. Like I said, these plastic-free packaging, kind of a gamble with these figures. So we got nothing in the box. We got instructions, but I don't really need those because, you know, I'm an adult. Here we have our figures, and we got the little things in front of them. So let's take a look. God, I'm so scared if anything's wrong with Spider-Man. We'll take a look at Mary Jane first. So let's take a look at her accessories. Okay, let's take a look at the hands first. Wait. Here's a fourth one. Okay, so we got like kind of the Spidey wall crawling hands. Those are fine. They're just plain white. And then we got a thwip hand, and we got a fisted hand. So those are plain white, hard to fuck up. Let's see the head sculpt. Looks good. There's just some fuzz. I think that was on my on the bottom here. Head looks good. Hair looks fine. No complaints there. More worried about the figure. Let's put... Should we... Yeah, fuck it. Let's look at Spidey's. And then we'll look at the figures. Okay. Let's take a look at the hands. Same thing with MJ. We got these spider wall crawling hands. Everything seems to be okay. Paint-wise, happy to see that. Put those to the side. Then we got a same thing as MJ. We got a fisted hand and a thwip hand. They look pretty good. Get the netting on them. And the Peter head. Kind of looks like Tom Holland a little bit. I can see a little Tom Holland. Here I can see a little Toby Grace. Toby... What the fuck's his name? Toby Maguire? Why am I fucking blanking on his name? Andrew Garfield? Toby Maguire. Yeah, it is Toby Maguire. What the fuck was I saying? I can see a little Toby Maguire there. Hair is a little slicked back. Boom. He's got his... pulling a rock right now with the upper eyebrow. Okay. Head sculpt looks good. There's a little yellow on the forehead. Trying to get it to focus. I don't know what that is, but yeah, you can see that little yellow spot on the forehead. Okay, I don't know what to do or say about it, but yeah, it's there. Okay, let's check out the figures. How the fuck do I go about taking these out? What the fuck? This looks so complicated. Okay, I think we got it. God, putting this back together is going to be the biggest fucking bitch. Oh god, I'm just afraid to fucking break it. Okay, there we go. Oh, we got... I wanted to save Spidey for last. Okay, let's put our wall crawler friend there. And, I think some of the cardboard ripped. I'm trying to be as gentle as possible. Hold on, give me a second. I felt like I was playing an intense game of Operation where I didn't want to fucking hear the bzzz. But here, let's pull her out. Here we have Spinnerettes. Head looks good. The face, the hair. I don't know what that block, the little hole there. I was assuming that was for a stand. I don't know what that is for. But 2 holes on the back looks kind of ugly. I'm not going to go through the articulation, just kind of showing off the paints of the figures. Yeah, paint looks good. The white, the shoes. Oh, there's a little red smudge. I guess you can kind of cover it up with the little ankle thing, but there's a little red smudge there. Ass looks good. Yeah. Got to make sure that's good. Yeah, I think the figure looks good. I don't really have any complaints, at least none that I can see. I approve of this one. But the man of the hour, the one that this whole set and my Spider-Man collection weighs on. Oh, God. I thought it was going to be a lighter blue. No, I guess it's dark blue on the box. Whatever, that's not a big deal for me. I just thought it was going to be a slightly lighter blue. But it's pretty navy blue. But here he is. Oh my god, I finally have a fucking Spider-Man figure. Here he is. Classic Spidey look. Ooh, oh, my light just died. Sign. Hold on. There we go. Turn on my camera light. Yeah, looks good. A little stiff, but let's check for the paint. Looking for paint. Make sure all that paint is good. The chest looks good. Arms look good. Face looks good. Check the back. Looking good. Spidey's ass is looking good too. We don't discriminate here. Feet are looking good. Yeah, I'm happy to say I think we got a good Spidey paint job here. Like I said, I was a little afraid. I'm just very afraid, especially now, like going forward, like Marvel Legends, even Power Rangers. I'm probably going to open them up and do like a little check on them because we're going to put on the Peter head as well. Yeah, just I don't know. I can't like live with myself knowing that like something's fucked up in the box or whatever the case may be. Like I need to know. And there is the Peter head on the body. Looks good. I like it a lot. Here's a little... I wish it came with a little crunch up version of the mask, like you pulled it off, but There it is. You can kind of hold it like a helmet, I guess. Your local hero. Or friendly neighborhood hero. Peter Parker as Spider-Man. I guess we'll put on the Mary Jane head too on the spinnerets. Comes off nice and easy. The Peter one just popped on. That one popped on as well. Yeah, here's Mary Jane in her spinner net costume. Just adjust it there. Yeah, I think it looks good. Let's hold them up together. And I guess, yeah, they got married. Renew your vows. Like I said, I'm not too familiar. Oh, shit, this arm is very stiff. Not going to play with that. Yeah, I'm not too sure about the story, but here they are, a happy couple. And I'm happy to report no paint errors on my figures that I see. If there is, I'll input a little clip saying, well, hold on, found a mistake. But happy to report. Like I said, I'm probably going to open like my Marvel Legends going forward, my Power Rangers, because all those are going to be in plastic-free packaging. And I want to make sure that, like, you know, what's in the box is what I'm supposed to get, and no errors. I'm not missing anything. So I'm happy to report so far. We're doing pretty well here. So let me clean up all the bags and shit, put everything away, Morph and Spidey and Mary Jane, and then we'll move on to DC Multiverse. So let me put all this stuff away. Actually, quick thing I wanted to show off as I was putting away the Spidey and stuff. I was like, oh, I can do a little comparison, because obviously we got Spidey, and then we got the Sandman here, and we can kind of measure them up, and we can see that Sandman is slightly taller. I'm trying to measure them up as best I can. Sandman's slightly taller, and they look very good together. I do approve of this. So yeah, just a little small clip that as I was cleaning up, I'm like, you know what? Let me do a little comparison. So we got Spidey, we got spinnerets, and they're going to go kick Sandman's ass. All right, next we are moving on to the DC Multiverse. Got a lot of cool pickups here. A lot to fill out my Batman's Rogues Gallery. Got a couple, I think it's mostly Rogues Gallery and one kind of Bat Family member. So let's start out. Well, you know, we'll end on that. But the first one I got that was pretty cool. It's actually my first gold label figure of the DC Multiverse. And for those of you who don't know the DC Multiverse, the gold label figures is usually like a special run of figures. It's in a special costume. I actually got 2 gold label. It's weird. I never got a gold label figure before, and now I got 2 gold label figures. We'll show the other one later. But the first one is Ocean Master. This is a villain from Aquaman. So you have the gold label, which is really cool compared to I didn't want to do this comparison now, but here's a regular figure without the gold label, and there's the gold label. Ocean Master is not the main villain, but he's one of the main villains of Aquaman here. I don't know if it's lore in the comics, but I believe at least in the movie where Ocean Master and Aquaman are brothers. Take away Aquaman for a second, but yeah, gold label. Gold label is usually reserved for like a special figure, a special design. We'll talk more about that with the other gold label figure I got, where sometimes they re-release it, where the gold label will be a special attire, and then they might release another version of it in a different costume. So this is the gold label version. As far as I know, I feel like I said gold label so many times already. As far as I know, they haven't released any other versions of Ocean Master, but I thought this one turned out pretty well. I love his helmet. It looks very cool. His trident looks awesome. His costume's very similar to Aquaman, where it's got the scales. So he's got purple scales, and then Aquaman has the orange scales. So I think there's some reuse there, which is fine. I think there's some because I think the necks are similar. And then other than that, the cape that's attached to Ocean Master. Anyways, we'll talk about Aquaman after. He's not one of my pickups. Just kind of a comparison to offset Ocean Master. So let's take a look at the box. There he is, Ocean Master. Nice little shot of him. Ocean Master there. This design is from the DC New 52. Nice little comic shot of him. Nothing there. The bottom for people who are interested, and then the top. So yeah, I'm not the biggest Aquaman fan, but I know Ocean Master is one of his big villains, along with Black Manta. And I had an opportunity to pick this up. I actually got this from the same guy I got the Superman mobile. He was putting these two for a pretty good offer, so I'm like, you know what? Since the guy was shipping it to me, I'm like, let me get my money's worth. And I'm like, you know what? Throw in the Ocean Master. I'm going to grab that too. So I really like how this turned out. And I think they look pretty good together, honestly. And all I need now is a Black Manta and then maybe a Mira. And I got a nice little Aquaman collection. I guess we'll stick with the villains. This one I was actually pretty excited to get in hand, and that is the pretty newly released Page Puncher's Heatwave. He is a Flash villain, as you can tell from the back there, Flash. But here is Heatwave. This isn't his typical design. In the comics, he's got a pretty lame design. He's like a guy with a little fire gun, but this version of him I really like. I like the armored out look. He got the flamethrower for the hand that looks wicked, and he is a bulky dude. He's got lots of armor, and I'm assuming a very fireproof suit. And again, this is part of the Page Punchers line. So anything that comes with the Page Punchers comes with an exclusive comic book that you can only get with the figure. And if you look inside, not only do you get the comic, you also get a card, which is, I believe, the cover of the issue, and you get a little stand. So it is a little more than your regular DC Multiverse, but I really like this one. I'll show the box in a second, but also in the wave, there's Heatwave. But also in the wave, you get a Flash in this style. You get the Atom, Heatwave, Gorilla Grodd, and Captain Cold. I was thinking about the Atom, but I didn't really like how his face turned out. I don't like how it's like the whites of his eyes. So I skipped on that, but I do kind of like the suit. Flash I already had, Gorilla Grodd I already have one. Captain Cold, I'm not a fan of how this figure turned out. I just think it kind of looks dorky. So I'm going to hold out for another Captain Cold, hopefully sooner than later. But yeah, I really like the cover. I think it looks pretty cool. And then we'll show off the box. Nothing there. We showed off the fronts. Heatwave, the Flash comic. There's the bottom and the top. And then we'll do a comparison with him like we did with Ocean Master. So that is Heatwave. And then my Flash, part of my collection. This is the Flash from the Injustice 2 wave. And I think they look pretty good together. Obviously, the design's a little different because, you know, this is based on a comic. This is based on a video game. But I think they still look good together. Like, their suits kind of match. Like, if you look at the legs and stuff. Kind of similar to Flash's suit and his textures. So yeah, I think they look cool together. A nice little rogue addition to Flash as a villain. So that is pretty cool. I like both of these. And I really like how this one turned out. Very happy with it. Next figure I got, which actually turned out way better than I expected, is the Black Lantern Superman. And I have now officially completed this wave for the past few episodes. You know, I got the Kyle Rayner, I got the Deathstorm, and then I finally got the Superman and the Batman. Batman I'll show off here in a second, so I can complete Atrocitus if I wanted to. But again, I keep my stuff in box. But I do like how the Superman looks. Look, his little zombie face. Got the yellow teeth, the sunken red eyes, no nose, rotting face. It looks cool. I like his suit. Turned out pretty good. Black Lantern Superman. Now, what I think is pretty weird is, I guess I'll show him now. What I think is pretty weird is you got Batman here, who is a Black Lantern as well, but for some reason in his box he's just Batman. Just Batman, compared to Superman, who's a Black Lantern. Batman He's too good to be a Black Lantern. He's just like, yeah, I'm fucking Batman. Like, don't ever call me a Black Lantern. We'll come back to Batman, but I just thought that was pretty weird. So yeah, Black Lantern, Superman. Obviously, I got the Necron. I got Deathstorm right here. And now I got 2 new Black Lanterns to join the little Black Lantern group I'm assembling. So there's Superman. Looks pretty good. Show off the box. Black Lantern, Superman, Blackest Night. There it is. You can put Atrocitus together. So in this box, you get the legs. And there's all the other people that come in the wave. Black Lantern, Superman. Bottom. And the top. So, yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. I don't really like to get multiple versions of characters, but because he's kind of a Black Lantern and not just Superman, I can kind of make the justification like, okay, it's not really Superman, he's a Black Lantern, you know. So, cool figure. I enjoyed this. And as we already know, the next one we're going to be talking about is Black Lantern Batman, or just Batman, because, you know, he's a big deal. His costume looks kind of weird. I believe this is like comic accurate, but there's just a lot of gray going on. And then you got the weird like black triangle. You got the Black Lantern logo, dead center. Is it the black? I believe that's the Black Lantern logo. But we can see Batman's also corpsing, rotting face. Unfortunately, I don't know who had the better dentist. Is it Batman with the brown teeth? Or Superman with the yellow teeth? I mean, probably yellow, because white, yellow, and then brown, because they're fucking rotting. So I guess Superman has the better dental hygiene as a Zombo. But yeah, he's got the brown, rotting teeth. Little white pupils. Well, they're not little, but they're pupils. And he's got a nice little zombie face. Even his cape is very zombified. So there's the box. Side shot. Back shot. This is the same as the Superman, but instead he comes with the arms, and then Superman comes with the legs. Side shot of the box here. I know some people don't care about all these, like me showing off the box, but sometimes, like when I watch other people do figure reviews, sometimes I do want to see the box, and some people just like, they do it off camera and they just get the figure right out of the box. So I like to display the box. But yeah, that turned out pretty cool. Next, it is all Batman. All Batman editions. Bunch of villains, and then one, like I said, Bat family member. So let's start out with the villains. This is from a newer group of villains of Batman, and that is the Court of Owls, and this is the Talon. I'm going to be honest, I don't know too much about the Talons in the Court of Owls. I never really read the story. I don't know if this is like one of many, like if this is like an army builder type character, or if there is actually like an assassin that they dispatch called Talon. Because from what I've seen, I believe this is like an army builder type character. Maybe somebody can clarify that in the comment section. But he looks pretty cool. I like the mask. Looks cool. Nice little owl face. And he is decked out to the gills. He's got claws on his hands. A bunch of little daggers. He's got claws here, but they're not out like the other ones. Bunch of swords. Got a little, I guess 2 little knives. And then 2 huge swords. I don't know if they use guns in the comics. But I think this character actually turned out pretty well. Here's what he's supposed to look like. And I would say he looks better than what is shown as the picture. So that's pretty cool. Let's show off the box. There he is, Talon, part of the Court of Owls. So, nice little addition to the Batman villains. Don't have too much to say, because like I said, I haven't read the Court of Owls, but I knew I had to pick this up. So, nice little addition. And then the rest are like big name Batman characters. So I got half of the Arkham City wave that I talked about last episode. I got the 2 characters that I wanted the most. The first one being Catwoman. She turned out awesome. Only one thing I'm not digging about the figure is the legs. Like, look at the torso. Torso's about there, and the rest is just legs. My God, this figure is all fucking legs. Like, it is not proportioned at all. My God. You can see the body's just kind of swimming in there in the torso. So I wish the torso was a little bit longer and make the legs shorter. I don't know what the fuck they could have done. But yeah, the legs are just way too long for my liking. But as far as the head sculpt, I think it looks very good. Looks just exactly like she looks in the comics. Or sorry, not the comics, the video games. Oh, I thought there was a shot of her on the back, but we can kind of see her in the back there on the card. And she comes with her little whip. She comes with a piece for a Solomon Grundy Build-A-Figure, which is the character that you can build if you get everyone in the wave, which is Batman, Catwoman, Ra's al Ghul, and Penguin. So there he is. Happy to finally have a Catwoman in my collection, because for the longest time, the only Catwoman figure that was available was the Batman, the movie figure. So I think this one turned out awesome. I'm very happy with this one. Like, it turned out great. This is another character I was very excited about in the wave. I'm like, I gotta ship these. I'm getting the whole wave, but these 2 characters I gotta have first. It was Catwoman and Ra's al Ghul. He turned out pretty good. I don't know if he has any. I would assume he has some abdomen articulation, but you can't really tell because the little armor that he's wearing. His face looks good. He's a little pale from what I can see. I don't mind it too much, but he is pretty white. Like, I think he goes outside more than that. So yeah, figure looks good. I like how he turned out. Comes with the sword that was in the video game, the Solomon Grundy arms to finish the not finish the figure, but build it out. And we'll show it off. Again, this is from Arkham City. Obviously, he has another role where he appeared in Arkham Knight, where he was more of a dead guy. But here, he was nice and alive. Did I show the top? I think I showed the top, the back. And yeah, I think this figure turned out pretty well. We'll compare him with Catwoman, who came from the same wave. And I think they look really good. I am very happy. These are 2 of, like, Batman's bigger adversaries, so I'm happy to finally get some representation for these 2. Next is another Batman villain. Same video game series, different video game though. A game I might have just mentioned, and that is the Arkham Knight. But we are talking about Scarecrow. I think this figure turned out pretty good. Like, I really like how it turned out, all the details on him. My only issue with him, he's a little too dark. Like, he is just, like, like, he was in a shadow when they made this figure. Like, I don't think he's completely just fucking pitch black like this. He's got some browns on his costume, but they neglected to go any browns. It is like all... It might be like dark brown, but it's mainly black. Like, he is very, very dark. And we'll try and get a close-up on those menacing eyes. They're actually yellow. We can see right there. His menacing face. You can kind of see his teeth through the stitches. Yeah, I think it turned out awesome. He's got his little leg brace from when Killer Croc fucked him up in the game. And yeah, I do really like how it turned out. I'm just a little dark for my liking. I actually kind of compared this to what the Gold Label version looked. If you can kind of mix match some pieces, I think you have a really good Scarecrow figure on your hand. But yeah, I just wish they a little lighter on the colors. But here we go, Scarecrow, Arkham Knight. Here's our boy here. So even in here, he's like his face and mask in the game is like, it's more white and stuff. But they opted to go just super dark and scary and menacing. Like, I know what they were going for, but oh, just a little bit of color, a little bit. But yeah, there he is on the back. And obviously he was the big bad of the Arkham Knight video game. And one more shot of him. Very cool. Actually, we'll do a comparison of our boy Scarecrow and the person that he fought in the game, Batman. This is Batman from Arkham Knight. As you can see right here, this is not a purchase that I had for this month. This is just a figure that I have. This is the Batman in my collection. And you can kind of put them together. They look pretty good together, got to say. Happy with that. We'll actually do a comparison with Batman with the other villains as well. Got Ra's al Ghul. Batman just looks so much bigger than him because he's in his armored suit. I look forward to getting the Arkham City where he's in his more classic gray costume. His love interest, Catwoman. I guess we'll pose her like this. Him on the left. Yeah, he is just a hulking beast compared to her. Obviously, she's a little scrawny and stuff like that. But yeah, Batman just looks very menacing in this suit. Like, he's ready for war, and that's exactly what he went through in the game. And just for the fuck of it, even though they don't match, really, we will compare this Batman to Talon. Actually, they kind of look good together, like better than I expected. Do a little close up here. Obviously, one's from a game, one's from a comic. But yeah, they don't look too bad with each other. They actually look pretty decent together. And then last but not least, for DC Multiverse, this is a character I was pretty excited about. Talked about it in my pre-orders from the last episode. He actually came in. I have my issues with it, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And that character is, like I said earlier, my second gold label figure. I am talking about Tim Drake Robin. Ignore that little, like, slash. I don't know where that came from. It wasn't, like, when I opened the box. It's on the inside, I believe. But anyways, ignore that. Yeah, gold label Tim Drake Robin. I really like how this turned out. Obviously, there's one glaring issue. The sleeves. If you look at the sleeves, you see the sleeves are cut off. Because, like I said, with the gold label will come with in a different costume, and then they'll release another costume in the regular version. So the regular version that they're going to do, obviously, will have the arms painted with the cut-off sleeves, his more classic look with the green. I'll put a picture up now. And, yeah, I just wish they painted the arms to make it, like, flush with the red. But I wish they would have just taken off the arms or made the bicep, like, in that material. Because it just looks kind of dumb. I was thinking about canceling this, but I was reading my Amazon purchase, and it said that anything purchased around this time, I have until January 31st to return. So, fingers crossed that they announce the other version of this Tim Drake Robin, and I can get that and then return this. But for the meantime, I am going to keep it because I do want a Robin in my collection. I don't have one. There's a couple Robin figures. There's some Damian Wayne Robins. There's a Tim Drake Robin, but that's from Gotham Knights. I'm not a fan of that costume. I do like this costume, but hopefully they do announce a more classic look, the green look. But I do like how this costume turned out, more than I thought. Good head sculpt. The R is a little rubbed out there, which kind of sucks. But what are you going to do? Also, one more thing with this figure. Amazon exclusive, so you can't find it anywhere else besides Amazon. Comes with a little batarang or robinarang, whatever you want to call it. His bow staff. And I think he looks really, really cool, to be honest. So Robin, Tim Drake. Top of the box. Side of the box. bottom of the box, and then the back of the box. There's a shot of him in the how he should look. And yeah, I really like how this Robin turned out. Actually, one thing, doesn't have it. I noticed this when I looked on the back. If you look on the back, he's got the I don't even know what you would call it, these little things. I don't even know what you'd call them. But on this version, he does not have any of that on his gauntlet, unfortunately. He has no spikes. Spikes? Sure, we'll just call it spikes. So yeah, that's missing. We'll do some comparisons with Robin. Obviously, we will compare him to Batman. Not really going to go together, but it doesn't actually look too bad together. I'm interested to see how he'll look with the Arkham City Batman. We'll do that comparison next month. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad, actually. I don't mind that too much. A character that I did want to compare him to was the Red Hood that I got last month. Because as I talked about in my Red Hood showing off, the under the suit there is his Robin costume. And I wanted to kind of compare to see if they use the same parts. But it looks like it's completely different sculpt from what's on Jason and what's on Tim. We'll compare him to one more person. Let's compare him to Scarecrow. They look alright together. Not too bad. Right now, this is going to be the Robin in my collection. Hopefully they announce the other version, and I can return this to Amazon and get my money back. But for the meantime, and even if that never happens, I think I'd be happy with this guy in my collection. The bicep stuff, the shoulder, the sleeve, not the shoulder, does kind of annoy me, because that's just what my eyes focus on right away. It's not too bad. You know what? Fuck. I really like that figure. I'm glad I finally have a Robin. Alright, last but not least, in terms of showing off figures for the month of October, what I got, we're ending out on wrestling. Got a lot of cool wrestling figures this month. A lot of cool ones that I bought that were released and unreleased. We'll talk about that in a second. So let's talk about figures that I picked up. So we'll first show off Kurt Angle here. WWE Elite style Kurt Angle. This is from Wave 50-something. This was one of the pickups that I got from the toy show. And I got a pretty good deal for it. It didn't come in a box. It came open like this, but it's in pretty good condition. It comes with his little material hoodie. His Team Angle stuff. Like that a lot. We'll take it off and show it off. The only thing that's missing from this figure is his gold medal, because he's got 2 gold medals and he won it with a broken frickin' neck, but unfortunately the guy only had 1. Not a huge deal, but you know, it's a thing that was missing. But I didn't pay full price, and I didn't pay what he probably could have charged me, so yeah, I finally got a Kurt Angle for my collection. It's in pretty good condition, no real scuffs or anything. I think they just had him on display. His face is a little beat up, but there's some shit on his chest. I'll wipe that off after. But yeah, he's actually in pretty good condition. He's not like... He wasn't used and abused by like some child. His joints are nice and tight. Well, the ab crunch, not so much. That's kind of loose. But the shoulders and stuff like that are nice and tight. This one's actually way too tight. Holy shit, I can't even lift that up. I like how this turned out, and I'm happy to have a Kurt Angle in my collection. It's true. It's damn true. Next figure I got, all WWE Elite figures. Unfortunately, no AEW figures this month. Next, we are going to be moving on to a character that I've been, I had already, kind of. I'll explain that in a second. But I really like this version of him. And I don't typically try and buy multiple versions of characters, but I just really like this version of this character, and I've never had a figure of him, so I had to pick it up, and that is Kane. This is Kane from his run in 2002 to 2003, where he's got the open mouth portion and different different kind of getup, and he comes with this title. This is one of my favorite tag team titles. Is the Raw titles that they used from 2002 to 2007, something like that. Maybe even 2008. But yeah, this turned out pretty cool. This one I got in box, but like all my wrestling figures, take them out of box. But yeah, I really like how this one turned out. My Kane figure that I had before this was this one here. This is from the Survivor Series. I said SummerSlam, but SummerSlam. But this is from the Survivor Series Elite Wave. I don't remember when, but he does look kind of scrawny. I mean, this one does too, but it kind of, I don't know, it feels like it hides it more. He's got different arms compared. This one's got bigger arms. This one's got little dinky arms, as you can see. So, yeah, this Kane just always felt like small to me. Like, it always felt like it could have been bigger. The belts, the costume that this is based on, I believe has some design on the belts, but they did not include that. So, yeah, it's a cool Kane. Like, it's a more classic Kane look, but this is the one that I really loved. Like, I love this run of his. He was tag champs with RVD, had that feud with Kane, had that feud with Triple H, the whole Katie Vick stuff, which I'm not really a fan of, but that was part of that run. I believe he was tag champs with RVD and Hurricane at this time. And he comes with some different hands. He comes with the tag belt accessory. And I just really like how this figure turned out. Cool little boots. You can see the mask with the hair mixed in. Yeah, I really like this. I never had a Kane like this, but I always liked this run. I had a Kane before, kind of similar in this style before with the Jakks Pacific stuff. Actually, it wasn't even Jakks Pacific. It was fucking, actually, it might have been Jakks Pacific. It was the Titantron figures. I'll try and find a picture and link it. That was my Kane figure for a long time. And then I got another Kane figure, like, after that, like a while after that. And it was more of his unmasked run post this. So I never got one in this design. I'm happy I finally do. And like I said, I try not to buy multiple versions of characters. I just try and like to get one. And this is the one that I had for a while, but this one I think will probably replace that. Next, in the same wave as that Kane, which is the Legends Wave 15, I think? I don't know the number, but it was the same wave. It was the Legends Wave. That character that I am talking about is the Total Package Lex Luger. Really like this figure. This is more of the Lex Luger that I'm familiar with, like his WCW stuff. I'm not really too familiar with his WWF run, his early WWF run, like the Lex Express stuff. Like, I know of it, but it was way before my time. So for me, Lex Luger, he was more of a WCW guy, and I really like how this figure turned out. He's in his Wolfpack gear. We'll show his Wolfpack friends here in a second. He comes with, I believe, some extra set of hands, and he also comes with an extra head, which is more of his classic look with the mullets. So if you want it, we'll actually pop it on. Yeah, and there's a look there. He looks like he could get some sleep, but he's got a nice little smile and ponytail. And we'll pop it off and show the mullet look. I'm waiting to hear a pop. There he is, and we will be unveiling his body because he is the total package. You know, he's got a great body, but I really like this NWO shirt. So there he is with the head. We'll take off the shirt. It's just a tearaway one with the Velcro on the back. And let's see what he looks like. And oh my God, he is the total package. There he is. He's got a plain little black set of trunks, black boots with a red trim on them. Kind of a plain looking character, but that's just who he was. So let's pop this back off. Let's put on this head. There's the pop I wanted to hear. Yeah, there he is. Let's put him in a little flex pose. I really like how this turned out, to be honest. I like the arms that they used on him too. It's some thick arms. You would think that for the total package that he would have some nice biceps, and he does. I believe we've seen this torso a bunch of times, but I believe these arms are newer. And of course, he's got the double jointed stuff. That's the new standards for the elites. And yeah, here he is, the total package. Well, let's put his shirt back on, and let's show him off with his Wolfpack friends. So here he is with fellow Wolfpack member Scott Hall, who we showed off in the last video. Lex Luger in the center, and then Kevin Nash over there. And they look pretty cool together. All got the matching gear, the red and black. And I don't know if we'll ever get a Conan figure. Probably not. But I do like the NWO Wolfpack here. They look pretty fucking cool. Next, we are moving on to a tag team that I got. Also in the Legends wave. I actually just realized this. Almost all these figures that I got are from the Legends wave. The Kane, the Lex Luger, the Kurt Angle wasn't. But these next two figures were also from the Legends line. And we'll kind of show them together, I guess. Because, like I said, they are a tag team. And I am talking about the APA, or the Acolytes, whatever you want to call them. This version of them is the Acolytes. But we got Farouk, Ron Simmons, and Bradshaw, John Bradshaw Layfield. More so Bradshaw here. And Farouk. And they look fucking awesome together. Really like how Farouk turned out. We'll talk about Bradshaw in a second. They come with these old school WWF tag team titles. Really like how these turned out. This was the previous design before we got these were the tag team titles for the Raw brand, but these were the tag team titles before that, so really like them. Never had a set of them, so now I do, in the WWE Elite style. And of course, they got the holes, and you just punch them in, and then you can have them hold them and be like, damn. That wasn't a good damn. Damn. Yeah, that's better. But there he is. And yeah, I really like how this Farouk turned out. We've gotten a few Farouk figures, but like in the APA gear, there was one released like Wave 30 something. And they were in like jeans and a shirt. And it was like, no one wants figures like that. Like, come the fuck on, put them in the wrestling gear. So they're not in their APA gear, but you can still kind of put them as that if you wanted to, but like I said, this is from their Acolytes run, Ministry of Darkness. So yeah, here's Farouk. He looks awesome. I really like how the Farouk turned out. Bradshaw doesn't look too bad. He looks a little awkward to me. I just feel like the legs just look weird on him compared to like Farouk, where I think they have the same set of legs. I just think it fits Farouk more than it does Bradshaw, in my opinion. But yeah, here is Bradshaw. He's got the logos on, logos on his chest, kind of like Farouk there. Didn't show them off on Farouk, but whatever. Head scan looks good. He's got his earrings there. There's his hair, and looks very accurate to his run. And they got the same trunks, so nothing different. The only thing that's different is the head and the torso. My boy Farouk here looks absolutely jacked. And Bradshaw looks jacked too, but not like Farouk jacked. Like Farouk's got like a 16-pack, and Bradshaw's got like 12. I don't know, he's got 8. But Farouk is like just a beast. Just a beast. But yeah, I'm happy to get these two. Like I said from the last video, I want more Attitude Era figures. So this is a nice addition to that Attitude Era kind of collection. In the last video that I did, wrestling section, I talked about, how I hope to see more ECW guys. We showed off the Cactus Jack with the tag title. Very pumped about that. And, I just want to see more ECW guys. I just don't think it's going to happen. There's a lot of those guys that have, died and done a lot of drugs, and it's not really, a good look for WWE. So, I don't think it'll ever happen. which is why I've been kind of outsourcing stuff. So I've been on Instagram kind of reaching out to a few of these guys, and there's a huge community of them on Instagram, and they're people that make custom wrestling figures. You can go see these pages. I'll link the two that made these for me. Months and months ago, I started working with this guy. His name was Rude Awakening Customs. Like I said, I'll put a link to his page in the description. As you can tell by his name, he's a big Rick Rude fan. But I reached out to him and I'm like, hey, I like your customs that you make. Do you take requests? Like, do you do custom, like, commissions for people? And he's like, yeah, what did you have in mind? So we kind of workshopped some ideas, and the figures that he ended up making for me were Just Incredible and Jerry Lynn. These are not what I got this month. These are just previous things that I got from him. So the Jerry Lynn looks awesome. The torso is a little loose, but it's a very good Jerry Lynn. Honestly, I'm very happy with it. And the Just Incredible turned out awesome as well. I really, really like this figure a lot. So he made these for me. And, I'm going to be honest. I don't think we'll ever get a Just Incredible figure. I don't think we'll ever get a Jerry Lynn figure. So I went back to him, and I'm like, there's a couple other guys that I'd made. Like, what do you think? And he's like, oh, who did you have in mind? And I told him, and I finally got them in. So after 2 months, he's working on them. He's got a life. He's doing other commissions for people. But he finally got around and got me my figures, and he got me 2 of them. So the first one is more obscure. These are 2, if I were to say the names to you, you would know one most likely. The other one, you'd be like, who? What the fuck? But, we'll just do a little teaser for him. So, originally, way, way, way long ago, TNA used to make figures. They used to make these really, really cool figures. And here are some of them. We got Eric Young, we got P.D. Williams, and we got Bobby Roode. And they are all part of Team Canada. Now, ignore the fact that this Bobby Roode is not in his Team Canada gear. I didn't get an opportunity to buy him in his Team Canada gear. But I got Eric Young and I got P.D. Williams in their Team Canada gear. And also got their accessory, the hockey stick with the Canadian flag. There was a couple other members of Team Canada that I was like, I always wanted figures for. And I asked him, hey, can you make this guy? And he's like, yeah, fuck it, I'll make it. And that person is former Team Canada member, along with Bobby Roode, Petey, and Eric Young. It is a custom Johnny Devine. Now, a couple things. It is a custom, so keep that in mind. Now, what he used as the base was a Santino Marella figure. If you look closely, that is Santino Marella. This is a Santino Marella figure, but just painted over. Yes, the paint has chipped here and here. Unfortunately, it just kind of rubbed off on somebody. It still looks good. It's a custom painted Canadian flag here, but I think it actually looked pretty good. I'm very happy with it. This is in the WWE Elite style. And he did custom hair here. I don't know what he did for the hair. Obviously, I know this is a Santino face and a Santino figure. But yeah, he customized the head, the hair, and the bandana. And it looks exactly like a Johnny Devine. I'll link a picture of Johnny. Here's Johnny, and here's the picture. Pretty accurate, right? I can't say too many bad things. It actually looks really, really good, and it goes with my other Team Canada collection, which I am very happy about. The TNA figures actually do scale well with the WWE Elite Mattels, so really happy how this one turned out. Unfortunately, like I said, the paint chipped a little bit, but I couldn't be happier. It's not going to be 100% perfect, but I think it turned out pretty damn well. And I think he's going to look very good together with my other Team Canada members. So I'm very happy with how this one turned out. The other figure I got him to make, now I showed off the Just Incredible. And for those of you who are not familiar with Just Incredible, he's a former ECW wrestler, ECW world champion, tag champion. He was in a very famous tag team in ECW. And his tag partner, who is the other person I got made, we'll bring back Justin. But that person is Lance Storm. I know this is such a weird, like, two editions. Like, you got Lance Storm, Johnny Devine. Actually, both of them are Canadian. So, hey, shout out to Canadians. I'm Canadian, so I had to get these guys. But yeah, Lance Storm, I know it's probably not on a lot of people's, like, radars. Like, why the fuck would you get a Lance Storm? But I'm a big ECW guy. I got a Just Incredible, so I had to get Lance Storm. And now we got the Impact players, baby. Hell yeah. And for me, when I choose these guys to customize, you know, whether it be Justin or Johnny Devine, Jerry Lynn, I'm not going to grab them, but yeah, those three. I try and pick guys that I'm almost 100% sure we're never going to get a figure of. We're never going to get a Johnny Devine figure. That's never going to happen in my lifetime. For sure, 1,000%. He's just not big enough. You know, some people might not even know who the fuck he is, but he had a decent little run in TNA. Used to be on Team Canada, ended up, that was most of his career. And then after that, he was in a group with Raven, Frankie Kazarian, and Matt Bentley as Serotonin. And then eventually, probably his most known run in TNA was when he was with Team 3D, and he ended up winning the X Division title. So he had a pretty good career. So it's not like an absolutely obscure choice, but we're never going to get a Johnny Devine figure, and I've kind of come to terms with that. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I still want a Johnny Devine figure, and here he is, made custom for me. So very happy with how he turned out. And then we got Lance Storm. I really like how this turned out. I gave him a reference for the attire that I'd like, and it turned out very well. I really like how it looks. I know it's a very basic kind of looking attire with the red and the white, but it looks good, and it's on a WWE Elite style body. He's got the double jointed elbows, and this Lance Storm figure is actually from a very old WWF figure. I actually had the original one, the Lance Storm figure. I'll put a picture of it. But yeah, he used that head, put it on a WWE Elite style body, custom painted the legs, and I think it turns out pretty good. And now I got, like I said, my ECW collection's looking pretty good. Got the Impact players, baby. Hell yeah. So, like I said, two obscure choices, but like I said, if I'm going to get a custom of a figure, it's going to be someone who I'm like, this person is never going to get a figure, but I still want one. That's when I go to these customizers and I say, hey, can you do this? And they're like, yeah, we can do that. Lance Storm doesn't have any paint chipping from him, fortunately. And unfortunately, the paint is chipping on the Johnny Devine. So you can see the Santino Marella torso, the blue underneath, which is unfortunate, but for the most part, I think I can kind of forgive that, and the figure looks very, very good. Very happy with Rude Awakening Customs. Like I said, I'll put a link to his Instagram page in the description. You can go reach out to him if you'd like to just look at his work. Honestly, I love just looking at these customizers' Instagram pages and all the different stuff that they've created. And I got one more custom. This is a newer guy I kind of reached out to. I was looking at his page, and I just really liked how his figures look. Like, he made some awesome customs, and his name is 3XR Studio. Again, I'll put a link to his page in the description. You can go check him out. He made a Sandman figure, and I'll put a picture of it if I remember. And I'm like, man, that figure looks so awesome, but, like, you know, can you do it in this attire? And he's like, hell yeah, I can do it in that attire. And that is what he made for me. He made me a Sandman. And this Sandman looks fucking awesome. It looks fucking incredible. This is a custom-made Singapore cane that he made for me. Just some sticks and tape together. He also gave me a beer can for Sandman, because if you know Sandman, he likes to drink his beer. So this is a little beer can, Budweiser. It looks awesome. This is some black, I'm assuming black paint. It was like this when I got it. Not that I care. He offered me the beer. He offered me a beer can and a beer bottle. And I'm like, you know what? I'll take one of the beer cans because he is more known for drinking the beer and then smashing it on his fucking forehead. And you can see like the scars. He painted the scars. It just looks really fucking good. I really like how this one turned out. He even put on his tattoo. Now I have this the tattoo's kind of peeling from the elbow here. As you can see, it's kind of coming off. And that's just because it was on the elbow, and then when you bend the elbow, it kind of like started to initiate the thing coming off. But I plan on either gluing it or cutting it off and hope it doesn't peel anymore. But yeah, this is a custom Sandman. It just looks fucking awesome. Like, I really love how the head turned out. I believe this is a Jakks Pacific Sandman head from the figure that they used to do. And he just gave it like a paint job. And it looks fucking awesome. You can see the scars on his head and shit like that. Nice little paint job on the head. And he gave me a custom shirt. So the one that I saw him do, it was a white shirt. It was more of his old ECW stuff. But when I think Sandman, this is the look that I think of. And I'll show off the rest of the tattoo in a second. So yeah, he gave me this custom shirt. He had this logo. He ironed it onto the shirt and cut off the sleeves, cut off the neck to kind of give it like that look of Sandman, this look. And it turned out really well. I really, really like how this figure turned out. It's, like I said, it's WWE Elite style, so it's got all that articulation. And we'll show off the tattoo, because Sandman, it's got a very nice tattoo. It's actually got, that's a tattoo of himself. That's a real tattoo. He has a tattoo of himself tatted on him. He pulled a fucking Steve-O. Actually, I think he did it before Steve-O. And yeah, that's a picture of Sandman as a tattoo on his face. So yeah, the guy did a great job. Shout out to him, 3XR. Shout out to Rude Awakening Customs as well. You guys absolutely fucking killed it. I love these figures. Great addition to my wrestling collection, and a great addition to my ECW collection that I'm trying to create. So let me get Jerry Lynn for an ECW reunion. So here we go. There we go. And the ones that I got this month were the Lance Storm, the Sandman, and the Johnny Devine. So I'm going to take off the shirt for the Sandman just to show underneath. But yeah, he's got the Velcro shirt. And there's his body underneath. There's a little fluff from the shirt. So there he is, looking a little buff. Like I said, I really like how these turned out. I'm very, very happy with them. And I look forward to seeing what else these guys create. I actually have an order put in with the guy that did this one, 3XR, to create me 2 new Elite style guys, ECW guys. So I don't want to give a spoiler on who they are. Whenever they arrive, you know, I'll show them off. I don't know if he'll have them in time for next month, but when they come, they come. You know, you can't rush these guys. They got a lot going on. Like I said, they have a fucking family and shit like that. This is like a side hobby for a lot of these guys. So you got to give them some time. So I'm still very happy with how these guys turned out. And like I said, if you'd like to, you know, get a custom made of any wrestler, reach out to them, and you know, you guys can discuss whatever you're interested in. One thing I actually forgot that I got along with the wrestling figures. Found this one at a Walmart. I don't know why I bought it, to be honest. I saw it and I'm like, holy shit, that's actually really cool. And you know, I lied when I said I didn't buy an AEW figure, but I got this AEW weapons pack, figure weapons pack. This is a like kind of extreme pack. You know, all these extreme wrestlers kind of reminded me of it. And yeah, I just think it looks really cool. Mattel doesn't do these. Inside, you got a barbed wire, or a chair with barbed wire, a chain, which is plastic, and it's stuck there. So you just kind of gotta probably use it to choke somebody or something like that. Then you got a broom with barbed wire on it, a bat with barbed wire on it, and then you got this bed on the back, and it's supposed to act as like a little bed, and you put the barbed wire. I don't know if you can see it better. There's 6 packs of barbed wire. You take them out, and then you kind of set it up, and it's supposed to look like this, and then you can recreate this famous match. I believe it was a lights out match between Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega at the first Full Gear. And yeah, it's just really cool. And when I saw this, I was like, holy shit, you know, we don't really get weapons anymore with figures. Like with the Jakks Pacific figures before, you know, we'd get like, my God, the amount of fucking chairs and shit I got with figures is insane. And nowadays, we don't get shit for figures or shit for weapons. Like, they just don't give us anything. I think it's got to do with violence and stuff like that, you know, all that boring shit. And yeah, I'm just like, holy shit, we never get weapons anymore with figures. Like, we might get like a table or a ladder every once in a while, but for the most part, no fucking weapons. And when I saw this, I was like, holy shit, that's so fucking cool. You know, I'm doing this like ECW custom collection. I'm like, this would go fucking perfect with it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to leave it in the box because I just think it's really cool. But it just kind of reminds me of like, yeah, we don't get weapons with figures anymore. Like I said, those old Jakks Pacific figures, the Ruthless Aggression ones, every figure had a fucking weapon. Most of them came with chairs. Like, I can't tell you how many fucking folding chairs I have. Some came with like stop signs, dead end signs, kendo sticks, tables, trash can lids, like cookie trays, like you name it, and they fucking came with it. And yeah, we just don't get weapons anymore. So I saw this, I'm like, holy shit, that's very extreme. Let me buy that to add to my very extreme collection that I'm starting. So really happy with the weapons pack, and it was like $15 or something like that, so it was pretty cheap. And yeah, I'm very happy with it, and along with these customs, more specifically the ones that were purchased this month, which was, again, Lance Storm from ECW or WCW. You know what's funny? Lance Storm is a guy who, you know, people think of him and be like, oh, is that boring guy from WWE? And it's like, no, he's had such a hell of a career. He was a top guy in ECW. He was a top guy in WCW. Like, I don't know if people remember, in WCW, he held like 4 titles at the same time. He had the TV title, hardcore title, cruiserweight title, and US title, I believe, all at the same time. And he ended up renaming them Canadian titles. He had like the Saskatchewan hardcore title. It was just really cool. He had his own Team Canada in WCW. Forgive my dog barking. So very happy with all my wrestling purchases for this month. I'll try and show some of them. I don't think they'll all stay. Yeah, Kane's not going to stay. All right, fuck it. I'll just keep those for now. These are the ones I'm most happy with because they're custom figures. You do have to pay a little bit more for it because obviously there's a lot of work that goes into it. Be wary when reaching out to these guys and they give you a price point. It might be a little steep, but as you can see by the finished product, they're very well worth it. So that is all for the figure displays. Now let's move on to the news and some of the stuff that I pre-ordered for the month of October. Alright, now we are moving on to the news/pre-order portion. This is kind of short, not too much to talk about, at least for my pre-orders. For the month of October, only pre-ordered one thing, and it was something that we talked about in the last episode. So I pre-ordered Marvel Legends Mojo. Now before, I was kind of debating, because they announced Mojo in a 4-pack called Mojo World, where you get Longshot, Dazzler, this little Wolverine, and a Mojo. And the Mojo is more detailed, but I was like just weighing out financially, and it's just, I'd rather just get the single release Mojo. So canceled the 4-pack pre-order that I had and placed my order for the Mojo. Can't wait for that whenever it comes out. It says it was supposed to come out in October, but that didn't happen. But it's fine, I can wait for it. That was the only thing I pre-ordered for October. There was nothing else that really, there was some stuff that like got announced but wasn't listed for pre-order. But in terms of like just pre-orders, just the Mojo. And then as far as like just a couple news things that I thought were pretty cool just to share, kind of, you know, in line with stuff that I collect. So there was the Hasbro 1027 events where they had a bunch of reveals, which is kind of cool because we just had Hasbro PulseCon at the end of September. And then we have this event here. This was like a smaller event. This is more So 10/27, that's October 27th, but that has to do with the headquarters of Hasbro. So they kind of turned into a day of kind of reveals. I believe this is the second year that they've done it, and all their brands revealed some stuff, and there was some cool stuff that got announced, some stuff I was not expecting, and there was some other stuff that was announced too. I'm just kind of wrap it in with the 10/27 event, just because it kind of deals with those brands. So we'll start out with Transformers, actually. So Transformers, they didn't announce anything cool like that I'd be interested in. They announced a HasLab for this character called Deathsaurus. And Marvel Legends is currently doing their HasLab. It actually just ended. We'll talk about that in a second. And I just thought it was funny how Transformers absolutely killed it with this announcement of the HasLab. They announced the character. They announced all this cool shit. They announced the tiers. This is what you get if we hit it. And they announced everything in a nice little package for $179.99. And I'm just like, wow, Hasbro or fucking the Transformers portion of Hasbro absolutely fucking knocked it out of the park with this HasLab reveal, and then absolutely dropped the ball with the Marvel Engine of Vengeance HasLab. So the comparison was just so funny. And this Deathsaurus, last time I checked, it needs 11,000 backers to get backed, and they were sitting at 5,000 or so. It was a little more than halfway. So I just thought that was completely funny. It looked like a cool little figure for a great price, like $180. How can you go wrong? And then, on the other side, the Marvel Legends, $350 for a fucking car, Ghost Rider, and a couple figures. So shout out to Transformers. I hope that HasLab gets funded. Speaking of HasLab, I guess we'll just go into it now. Marvel Legends reveals. They revealed a new tier, kind of get people excited, to kind of get some last minute people to jump in on the HasLab. And they announced the new tier, which is Damon Hellstrom, and you would get him at 11,000 backers. This character, no idea who he is. Honestly, I don't know too much about the bigger universe of Ghost Rider. I just kind of know the surface level people, Blackheart, Ghost Rider, all the different Ghost Riders, Mephisto, a couple different people like that. And they announced this guy, and it kind of fell flat on his face, because it did not get funded. Ghost Rider HasLab was just bleeding subscribers. They needed 9,000, and it just kept going lower and lower and lower. At one point, it was 4,800. The highest it went to before it ended up getting cut off, because obviously Halloween, October 31st, is when the cutoff date was. They finished at 5,060 backers, so the project did not get funded. Anybody who backed it will not be charged that money. So it's unfortunate. There are some cool figures in there, like the Mephisto and stuff like that. And I think the car and, the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider is cool, just not for that price. I don't know if we'll end up seeing any of those figures that they announced as tiers, or even the Robbie Reyes. I would like to, but I highly, highly doubt it. Hopefully we get the Mephisto. Honestly, very surprised they didn't announce Blackheart. I think that was the one character that could have kind of put it over for some people, where it's okay, this is a character we know you like. It's highly associated with Ghost Rider, and they didn't do that, so it kind of fell flat. 5,000 backers, that's kind of sad. The next HasLab Marvel does, they have to knock it out of the park. They can keep the price point, but make sure you are offering a product that justifies the price. Otherwise, you're going to get a lot of backlash, and they kind of have egg on their face, so shout out to Transformers for doing the HasLab right, and then unfortunately the Marvel one did not get back. That's the update on the HasLab. Canceled. We'll just have to wait for the next project, but they did announce a couple new figures at the 10/27 event. They revealed a Wonder Man in a jacket. They revealed Baron Strucker and Black Widow Yelena Belova. And although those three characters will be part of a different wave coming out soon. It's going to be an Avengers-themed wave, so those are just a couple characters. The Wonder Man doesn't really appeal to me. I do like Wonder Man, but more in his classic gear. I'm not too familiar with him in the jacket. Baron Strucker I'll probably pick up whenever that comes out. And then the Black Widow, Yelena Belova, not too familiar with her, but the figure looks really cool. And I know this character plays a big role in the Black Widow movie, which I have yet to watch. And they're also going to be a part of the Thunderbolts movie, I believe, coming out soon. So that was all the reveals for the 10/27 Hasbro event for Marvel. But then there was another event, MCM London Comic-Con, and they revealed a couple other figures that are going to be in the same wave, which is Extremis Iron Man, which is a really cool armor suit, but I think I'm going to stick with that retro Iron Man from the last episode. Ultimate Captain America, cool figure, but I got my Captain America. I'm very happy with the 20th anniversary. And then they announced a couple X-Men characters, some very obscure ones, like some very deep cuts. They got a character named Random. That's the character's name. It's not just, oh yeah, they announced Random. That's the character's name. And I remember always seeing him on like the back of old X-Men figures. Like you would see like the whole checklist of guys on the back, and I'd always see him and I'm like, damn, he looks very goofy, but I want him. Never got him, but now I can own him and own a nice articulated version of him. I think it turned out pretty well. And then they announced another character who I'm not very familiar with. Very plain design. His name is Zero. I did some research on him. He's a android from the future that helps out Strife. And both those characters are rumored to be in a 5-pack along with Strife, Pretty Boy, and I forgot the fourth person or the fifth person in the pack, but it's supposed to be a 5-pack, and I'm actually really looking forward to that 5-pack because it's X-Men themed, and I don't have any of the characters from the 5-pack, so I'll probably pick that up whenever it comes out. So that was all the announcements for Marvel Legends. And next we got Power Rangers. They announced some stuff for the Lightning Collection. So for the 10/27 event, they announced 2 figures. One absolutely blew me away. One, not so much. So the first one that they announced that I wasn't too excited for was In Space Silver, and he comes with a motorcycle. Pretty cool thing. They got the actor who played In Space Silver to reveal the product. That was pretty cool. But in terms of In Space Silver, I already own the In Space Silver figure. This is a re-release, but he comes with the motorcycle. Originally, when they did the figure, it was a Walgreens exclusive, so it was a little harder to find, and I don't think a lot of people had the opportunity to grab them. I got lucky enough. I found mine at a GameStop. I live in Canada. We don't have Walgreens, so that exclusive ended up going to GameStop, and I lucked out and got one. So I'm not really in the market for this version of them with the motorcycle. It's cool for people that don't have them. I do like the head sculpt better on this In Space Silver than the one that I have, but it's not enough to make me get a whole new figure with a bike. So, and then the other figure that they announced, the big one that I think surprised myself and a lot of people, was a Turbo character. Yeah, they actually are producing characters from the Turbo series, which is a shock to me. Not a shock, like I knew they were eventually going to do it, but I thought it would be later than sooner, but it's turning out to be sooner than later. They announced Blue Centurion, and he looks absolutely incredible. Unique molding on him, tons of accessories. He comes at a higher price point because he's considered a deluxe figure. So I think he's $35 instead of like the 26 that they usually go for. But I think this figure turned out really cool. After seeing him, I'm like, damn, I'm actually excited for some Turbo figures. And they did announce that there's going to be at least 1 or 2 more Turbo figures coming out in 2023. But this was, I think, a great way to kind of open up that window for Turbo. The Blue Centurion looks absolutely fantastic. I have no gripes about it. And then they announced some Cosmic Fury news, which is going to be the upcoming season. I wasn't going to talk about this, but they did reveal some cool stuff. They've been doing some Power Ranger announcements for the show because it's the 30th anniversary. Hasbro PulseCon, they announced the new suits and the season and stuff like that. And then here, they revealed a little bit of news. They showed off the Blue Ranger suit that's going to be in the show. And we already knew that Billy and Zach from the original Mighty Morphin were going to be on the show. And they also announced that we're going to be getting the return of Adam, Kat, Rocky, Aisha, and they got a new actress who will play Shrini's daughter. So there's going to be a lot of callbacks to the original Mighty Morphin show. I'm going to be honest, I might actually check out the show. It's been a while since I watched like a Power Rangers series, but with all this, like, it's going to be like a really big show, a lot of callbacks to previous Rangers and stuff. We're basically going to see the whole original cast. So I'm pretty excited for this. So I look forward to whenever that's going to come out. I know it's not figure news, but I just thought it was pretty cool. And then some other Power Ranger stuff that they announced. It was not at the 10/27 event. This was kind of just announced during October. They announced that Power Rangers Lightning Collection is going to be doing another crossover. This will be, I believe, the third one. First one was TMNT. Second one is the Street Fighter. And now we are going to be getting Cobra Kai, which is a TV show that's pretty popular. I would say it's popular enough to get a crossover. I'm not too familiar with it. For me personally, I watched the original Karate Kid movie, and I like that. Daniel's son, he does the crane. That movie's a classic, but I've never gotten into Cobra Kai, but it's got a big fan base because it's got 5 seasons, so. They announced a couple figures. They announced Daniel's son as the white Ninjetti, so they're reusing the Ninjetti suits I showed off earlier. They're using the white one, putting a Daniel face on it, and he's got his own unique symbol on the chest. I believe it's the crane for the crane kick. And then you got a character named Samantha, who I believe is Daniel's wife. She's going to be in the pink Ninjetti suit. I'm not sure what her symbol is, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. The one figure that they announced that I was pretty interested in was a putty. They announced a putty in like a skeleton costume. He's got Cobra Kai on the back, which is kind of like a turnoff, but I'm kind of interested in this one because with the putty figure, it's kind of a throwback to an old episode of Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, where the monster of the episode, his name was Bones, which fingers crossed, I do hope they make a Bones because I had that episode on VHS. But yeah, this putty is kind of reminiscent from that episode where they have this like skeleton costume. So I might actually pick this up. I didn't pre-order it yet. I'm still kind of debating maybe for it to go on sale because it's like $27.99. A little steep for me to buy a putty. I already have a putty. I have the Z putty from a previous release, but I will definitely be looking to get this putty eventually, but probably not for full price. They did announce that there's going to be some more Cobra Kai figures getting announced as well, so that's cool for people that want to collect it. For me personally, this is a complete skip. I have nothing bad to say about it. Like, it's cool for Power Rangers to kind of mix with these other brands, but for me personally, it does nothing for me. I don't watch Cobra Kai, so this is a skip for me. But that putty might be in my collection sooner than later. So that is it for the reveals in the news. Look forward to the next figure video coming out at the end of November. Might have some cool stuff. We already talked about how I'm going to have the Donatello. I'm going to have the Street Fighter figures. I should have the rest of the Arkham City wave, the Batman and the Penguin. Not too sure what else. I know that's the stuff that's on the way. Not sure what I might pick up during the month. So I will be going to another toy convention November 20th, and I'm pretty excited about this one. So this is the one that I just kind of went to. They're holding another show in November, but this time, the past few times I've went to this toy convention, it's been a toy convention and a comic show together. But this time, instead of the comic show, they're going to have a video game show. So I'm pretty interested to see how that's going to be, like what's going to be like. I'm hoping to score some cool video game figures that I can add to my collection. That'll be like hard to find. That's my hope for this video game show. Hopefully it's got some cool stuff. And again, I'll have some pictures of that and I'll include them in the video. But other than that, I believe that's going to be it for me. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you guys next time. And until then, guys, peace out.